Okay, I'm going to do a series now on data structures, and first I'm just going to make some general notes about about data structures. So let's talk about vectors first. So first of all, vectors are homogeneous, and that means that they all have to have the same type, or in our terminology, that's the same mode. So if you have a vector, you can't have a vector with a character and a number, or a vector with a number and a string, a factor, and so on. And the vectors can be indexed like this by position. So this would be the second element in the vector. And the vectors can be indexed by multiple positions, returning a subvector. So you could have a vector v, and you'd be taking the second and third element by doing this. And vector elements can have names. So vectors have a name property, the same length as the vector itself, that gives names to the element. So we have a vector here, v, we have vector v here, and then we can assign names to these elements, like this. So we can print the v just like that, but if we do this, oops, I forgot to do something. Let me try this again. Sorry, this is how you assign names. You have to put in the v there. And now when we print v, it shows the vector, and these are just names that are sort of tagged on to the elements. And if a vector does have names, you can do this. You can do this and get that. Okay, next let's talk about lists. So whereas vectors have to be all of the same mode, that is, they have to have all elements of the same type, lists are heterogeneous. Lists can contain elements of different types. In our terminology, list elements may have different modes. Lists can even contain other structured objects, such as lists and data frames. So you can have a list of lists or a list of data frames. This allows you to create recursive data structures. Lists can also be indexed, and to refer to the second element of a list, which could be like the second column or something like that. Anyway, the second element would be like this, double brackets. So, for example, suppose we have a list, which is created with the list function, and the first element is m, second element is k, and the third element is j. Each element is separated by comma. M is Donald, k is this vector, j is this vector. So if you wrote list 2 with these double brackets, you'd be asking for this element, which consists of a vector. Instead of having a vector here, you could have actually a, for example, I have a data frame. If I have a data frame, I could have that as the second element of the list. So you can have like a list of data frames.